Hi, this is Valerie Graham, and welcome back to this episode of Natural Bliss. Today we're going to be talking about essential oils. Can I take them internally? Is that truth or dare? We're going to get to that question in just a moment. I probably get asked this more than any other aromatherapy question. Can I take yours internally? Can I take essential oils internally? How do I take them internally? Okay, let's explore that, because there is no one general blanket answer. I can't say to you, yes, you can take them internally, because it depends on a number of factors. That being, which essential oil are you talking about, the state of your health, and how you're going to actually take them. So, can we take a few drops internally? Yes. Should you? That's a whole nother story. That's a different question. You can get the same benefit by using them topically. They will absorb and go to your bloodstream. Topically is a much gentler, safer, kinder way to use your essential oils. If you would like to take them internally, just be sure that it is an oil that is safe for ingestion, but you need to be aware of the consequences. When you take an essential oil internally and you put a few drops on your tongue, you mix it into a glass of water or a cup of tea, what happens is it metabolizes very quickly. It all at once goes to your liver. Now, if you have impaired liver function, this can cause toxic overload of your liver. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a second, but just know that the equivalent of one single drop of essential oil is equal to drinking at least 30 cups of herbal tea. So 1 or 2 drops is very, very potent. And again, if you take it and you drink it, their essential oils are not water soluble, so they don't mix or dissolve with the tea or the water. It basically floats on the surface. And you're drinking it. Just as it doesn't dissolve, it goes very quickly through your system to your liver and then gets metabolized out. There are some purposes when you might want to do that. Also, if you go to a trained aromatherapist, they will do an intake. They will ask your history. I will find out what medications you're on. I will ask if your doctor is monitoring you for anything. Do be aware that if you're taking, let's say, an antifungal medication, an oral medication, and they're monitoring your liver function, you're not going to want to use essential oils internally. Some cholesterol-lowering medications, some diabetes medications. These can all have liver implications. Again, if you are experiencing any sort of liver dysfunction, you are not going to want to use them internally, because you can damage your liver and other organs in your body. It's not just your liver, but we're going to concentrate on that for this discussion right now. So you may want to investigate other ways to use them. As I said, topically or diffusing them into the air is a kinder, safer, gentler way. They do go through your bloodstream. You will get them, but not as quickly. It takes a little bit longer. It's not that rapid, all at once overload. Can you use them with children? No, never. I would never suggest you use them with children. So for the most part, when people ask me, being a responsible aromatherapist, not knowing what oils they're going to use or how they're going to use them, I usually tell people, no, you don't want to take them internally. If you do, just know, or if you go to some of the other large companies, they say, oh yes, these are safe to use internally, as a blanket statement. I would never do that. What they're referring to is food grade essential oils, or essential oils that come from plants that we normally ingest, plants or herbs, are on the FDA list as generally regarded as safe, meaning in a small quantity you can consume them and nothing is going to happen. I'll give you 2 stories. When I was starting out as an aromatherapist, I had a friend of mine. She said, my son is experiencing a cold. He'd like some eucalyptus. I gave her the oil. I told her to have him apply it topically to the bottom of his feet 2 or 3 times a day, a few drops. She came back the next day after the weekend, and said, my son drank the eucalyptus essential oil in his tea. And I said, really? How many drops? She goes, drops? He put in like, I don't know, almost the whole bottle or half a bottle. I was like, oh my God, is he okay? Learned my lesson. Would never really advocate to anybody to use the essential oils internally after that, only because I don't want to see any harm come to anyone. I had an experience. I used to do IT work. I was upstate. We did disaster recovery. We had to drive back down to Long Island. It was a few-hour drive. My friend said, bring your essential oil. Put a few drops of rosemary and peppermint to keep us awake on our drive home, and into the vent of his brand new car so that it would circulate through the air nicely. We put the air on. And guess what? 2 hours later, we took that cotton ball out, and that cotton ball took the paint off of the vent on his brand new car. On one of the blogs that I write for, someone asked a question. They said, brand new bathtub. They used a few drops of wintergreen and some tea tree and another Japanese green tea essential oil in the bathtub, and their brand new bathtub bubbled. So those are the dangers of using essential oil. And if it can do that to the vents in the car and to the bathtub, what is it doing to you internally? So, truth or dare, beware. Yes, you can use them. If you're going to use them, I would dilute them in some oil, not water, because they are not water dispersible, but they will dilute in the oil, so it will be a little bit, not so all at once going to your liver. Or you can dilute them in a drop of honey. So 1 drop to maybe a tablespoon of honey, and eat that, if you choose to use them internally. But now that you know the difference, now that you know how to use them, you make your own decision. This is Valerie Graham, and thank you so much for joining me this week on Natural Bliss. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.